Yo, 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 welcome back to Blazy B, where I'm blazing on B. And I thought we'd talk a little bit about me. Oh my gosh, why? But okay, I was thinking about I've been in Effingham now over 2 years, and I, that makes one think about one's life. And I kind of just keep going in these thought processes of future thoughts because okay, so I was born in Portland, Oregon, way back in 1992. And when I was 3, we moved to Omaha, Nebraska. And I was like raised in Omaha, Nebraska, and basically whole life. And then my freshman year of college, I went to Oregon State. I wanted to get the hell out of Nebraska. I was done with it. I kind of had this like, oh, I'm a Portland girl. I have no idea what that means, but I want to be a West Coast person. And my mom's just like, go west, get out, do it. I'm like, okay, yes, let's go, let's go, let's go. So I go to Oregon State my freshman year, and it was wonderful and amazing. And I rode. I was in a sorority for like a smidge of a second. And it was a great experience in that. And then I had to come back home because out of state tuition is very expensive. And I kind of had the choice. You live in Oregon and gain residency, or you come home and go there. I'm like, okay. So I went home and I went to UNO my first year in Omaha, and then UNL the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. So 3 years. I went to school for 5 years total. 3 universities. Money. Fuck that. But okay, so after that, then where was I? Yeah, Nebraska. Graduate, great, and I head out to Seattle. That's 2015. Um, Moving to Seattle. So get out there. And then I'm there until I go to Peace Corps in 2018. So there's some time, but like got there June of 2015 was when I started at Kiewit. And then after that, it was February 2018 is when I went Peace Corps. And then came back March 2020 from, COVID hit. Shit went sideways. So came back to Seattle, but then had to figure out my life, right? And ended up going to WIU in Macomb come like no, it was August of 2021. All right. Macomb for a year. Then they send me to Effingham 2022, like August, September ish. Um, and then I've been here ever since. That's crazy. That's crazy. All alone. Like that's nuts. Um and so it's kind of crazy how much I move around. I've noticed I'm like a 2-year stint, or I have been in the past. And I kind of float and flutter, and it's interesting. I am me, and I feel like I can do that, and I know that people can't do that. Like you excuse me. Not saying it's easy at all, but I've had to create friend groups in every place I've lived. That's also part of like the challenge and the adventure for me. Something new, something unique, something just like let's, balls to the wall. Why not experience that if I've got the opportunity? And I'm all about green lights, Matthew McConaughey's book, Green Lights. Really, it's just like every opportunity is an opportunity and you can take it. And why not take it? See where it leads. You can always go back or go forward, around, everywhere. Like nothing is linear in life. And I've learned that from meeting other people that change their careers completely mid life. And they're like, well, I really wasn't happy. So I went back to school and I did this, something different. Or someone that's like, oh, I love my job. I don't use my degree at all, which is the majority, right? Nobody uses their degree, which is sad. So I have a bachelor's in what are my degrees? International business with minors in Spanish and communications. So that's my undergrad from UNL. And then my master's is in community and economic development with a post baccalaureate in GIS, so geographic information systems, basically mapping. And so and I was community and economic development volunteer in the Peace Corps. So that it was a Peace Corps fellowship program for my master's. So there's all these connections and it's like opportunities open, money, okay, green light, let's go, and something new, something different, why not? Like, and I keep thinking like, oh, 2 years in Illinois, like I did 2 years in Costa Rica, let's just do 2 years in Illinois. And then I've now been in Illinois 3 years, like Effingham 2. I stayed after I graduated. How did that happen? And it happened. And I'm not going to lie, I'm loving it. I am, I mean, I'm a big fish in a small pond. And in Nebraska, you kind of were that way in a way. Omaha is a city of a million people. So you don't know everybody, but you feel like you know everybody. At least, like, I went to Millard North High School. My high school had 2,500 students, hefty high school. But all of the Millard schools had about the same amount of students. So, and these were 2 miles apart, Millard South and Millard West. And then I was at Millard North. Okay. And it's just like we're in a big area, but you know people. You go to these sporting events, especially when you're in school, you just like know faces of a ton of people in Omaha. And so, you know, you go to the grocery store, you get stopped, you know somebody, right? You have to you have to do the thing where you chat and you say hello and you just like do the Midwest thing because this is how shit rolls there. And then you move to Seattle and you go to the grocery store in whatever you wanna wear, you'll never see anybody you know, like, never. And you never kinda go to this like, yeah, you kinda you go to the same Costco. You might go to the same Fred Meyer. You kinda go to that corner store, but that's in emergency. So you're not hitting all the same places all at the same time, and nobody else is either. So you're not seeing anybody you know, and you kinda like that. You're under the radar. You are nobody, but you like it that way. And then you move to Effingham and you work at a coffee shop that is busy with the town's people. Also, I worked at the chamber. So I came in working with businesses and meeting all these people just by all these programs and all these committees and yada, yada, yada. And so I got to know the community prior. And then I work at a coffee shop and that enhances it. Also, those same people go there. And it's like, it was crazy. Like, I know this town. I this town. Oh my god, it's just nuts, but I fucking love it. I thrive off of it. I have no shame in the game. I'm loving it. I am a character and a coloring book for the city. What? That is the highest honor of all time. That was like the most beautiful thing ever to happen to me. I swear to God. I've also been on the news this year. Like, there's so many things that have happened to me in this small town, and it's so awesome that I'm like loving the experience. Maybe it's just like pumping my fucking ego. But at the same time, I'm connecting people. I'm doing the things. It's not like I'm a bitch or like a total asswipe, you know, but at the same time, I'm just like connecting people and getting out of the way and moving around and kind of shifting. And I feel like I do that in every community I go to. Um, and I I don't know. I make a splash, but I don't make a splash. I make a splash only if you're like around me, but I'm not like putting myself out there to be around all these human beings, if that makes sense. So moving to Seattle, and also really rely on my job to connect me with people and then I do my thing. Like, I naturally connect people. That is just who I am, always have been. My mother is the same way. She is a connector of all humans. She just finds those little similarities and it sparks that. And then it's just like a camaraderie that builds. And then they're hanging out. And then it's just like, oh, wow. at least they know each other. I don't know. It just builds and it's beautiful. And we don't need to be around for like the end of it. We connect and we kind of dissipate and we maneuver. We're like fluid through the rocks of the river. You know what I'm saying? So, um, okay, so take it back. Jobs, very relying. So I moved to Seattle, right? Thankfully, my parents moved there at the exact same time. My dad got a job in Kent, and then I was in Bellevue, actually. So they bought a house. I lived with them because why not? Also, Seattle's very expensive. So we all kind of get out there. We ditch Matthew in Nebraska, right? And I have this job. I am at a construction company and with all dudes, but a lot of the dudes are young. They're all these new hires that just got out of college. Same with me. Wow. And everyone's kind of coming in from not Seattle places. Kiewit pulls people from all types of around. So they had asked me like what region I would want to be in, and I had said West Coast because I had had an internship in Minneapolis and I was in the Midwest kind of district, and I was like, well, I don't want to stay there. So if I could go West Coast, it'd be great. So awesome. Other people probably had these same thought processes and choices. And this specific area was the bridge and marine. So you're doing bridges over water, things like that. So anyways, I get out there. There's dudes coming from Idaho, lots of Idaho dudes. There's a Colorado boy. There's all these guys that are around my age, maybe even a little younger. And well, 5 years of college, remember? And so I met guys through this and they didn't have anybody else. They were relying on their work. And Kiewit was great for that because you work long hours. You're kind of in these stressful situations. You really have to collaborate with each other. And then we'd go out every Thursday night because that's just how we did it. You kind of had to. This is the corporate life and they were paying for it, so why not? And that would build camaraderie. You are building a bridge, you're having to plan, there's so many logistics through areas of engineering that need to be done for an entire project to come together and not pay extra money to like shut down the bridge because you're trying to keep traffic going while you're building another thing. It was pretty magnificent to watch. And anyway, these guys like blew me away. So I became friends with these guys. And we're in our party stage. We're all pretty single and we're just going out and we are loving Seattle, exploring Seattle. We just did all the things and they introduced me to festivals. They introduced me to the whole West Coast part of life. It was it was just really great. So we built this friendship right then and there. And that kind of came over like I would say about a year. It took a year to really get to be like really going out with the guys, like really kind of integrating into everyone's after work life because you're working a lot and you're tired. So how much are you doing on the weekends? You're kind of just chilling, or you find a friend that you knew in Seattle, and they're West Coast guys, Idaho, they were Oregon State, all these things. Anyways, so yada yada yada. And like, yeah, Washington's so they get it. They get it. They get it. And we built that. Okay, great. Then I go to Peace Corps. And so I have this group of friends. I've built this awesomeness and it was great. Love you guys. Okay, on to my next adventure. I joined the Peace Corps. You're very much forced into having these people around you. This is your crew. Boom, you're planted in with these humans. You need to survive. So you don't want to be a loner loser and you kind of got a grasp of who we weren't. So thankfully, my crew of Peace Corps people became a large group of humans. We had like the dirty dozen. That's quite a bit of people to have in one friend group. And to this day, it's like kind of built upon that with different Peace Corps Costa Rica people. And so we're up to like low 20s for like a massive group of people that can get together all in the same time and everybody show up. It's pretty remarkable. We just love each other so much. And also being put in that type of situation bonds you for life. obviously. You're in a different country. You're away from your family. You're learning a language. You're trying to survive, and you're going to really spend some time with these people. So make the best of it. And we freaking did. So, that's a different kind of situation. You're going into somewhere, you're kind of giving these people, do with it as you will. You don't have to go out. But then you get to sight, and you kind of do have to go out. Who is going to be my friend? And what Peace Corps taught me is anybody can be your friend. You just need one friend, and it can be any age, whatever age. Your best friend could be a 6-year-old. Awesome. Your best friend could be a 100-year-old. Great. As long as you've got one person to talk to, you're going to survive. So thankfully, my whole host family was thebomb.com, and I had just immediate, because you don't just inherit the one family, love them, but you got the extended. I've got all the aunts, all the uncles, everybody's popping into the house. You just get exposed from that. So that was really nice. But my host mom became my best friend. I could really talk to her about anything, everything. We'd listen to podcasts. We'd listen to music. We'd just chat a lot. She was super great. She's a great human. I get to see her soon. So, but like, okay, I had to make friends there. I wanted to make friends in sight, and I kind of did outside. I joined a Zumba class. I really got myself out in the community just because of my work. I had to. Community and economic development means you got to figure out what these people need or want in both, and blah, yada, yada, yada. So I had to explore this community. It's also less than 500 people. So it was easy to explore and kind of get to know people. You go to church once and you meet half the humans. But through that whole thing, I mean, navigating in a different language too, a different culture, different type of friendship. Like, I'm not going deep with these people. It's not a lot of, it's just day to day, how's the weather type talk usually. So it's a different type of conversation. So you have to adapt to that, which is interesting. And then with COVID happening and that reverse culture shock of coming home, not only to just like the US, but to COVID US was absolutely absurd. And reintegrating into my life coming home, because I've been gone for 2 years. Yeah, I've got my friends back in Seattle, but life has changed. People have changed. Like, I'm out, but I'm in. And that's okay. That's totally fine. I get it. And it's just different. We're all different. I changed through Peace Corps. And obviously I love them. They're freaking great. But we're on different paths of life. Obviously, I'm not even in Seattle anymore. So that friend group's there. Great. Matthew is integrated into that. Super great. Amazing. And so coming back to Seattle and being like, well, things have kind of changed. I'm not going out a lot. I don't really want to. I don't really give a shit. It's also COVID. So Matthew and I are kind of hunkered down together, hunkered down with the parents. Great. We love each other. We can't get enough of each other, which is crazy. And I know people are just baffled by that because they have definite time limits on how much time they can spend with their family. But the Sunderman Fab Four, we could last weeks. There might be a little nip here and there, but it's just resolved, and we coexist so well. The only thing that's lacking is like weed. That would be really nice to just be out and about and be able to do that. But it is not allowed in the house on the premises. Like, one time I just stunk it up because I bought an eighth to take to Matthews later. And didn't even smoke it. Like, I just like brought it. Oh man, but LOL. Totally fine. Parent rules. I get it. Fine. So, that would be the only benefit. We would love to like all live together, but have separate wings. And Matthew and I would even have like a shared space. That would be the dream. I would never get sick of it. You could also choose between family and friends. Like a lot of people don't like their family, so they gravitate towards having more friends, right? Oh, I love my freaking family. So I'm down to have no friends. I have what I have. Matthew is my best friend, hands down. It's just, yeah. So I kind of have what I need. I love, obviously, my added bonuses of friends, and duh. Um, but there's just like, gravitational pulls to what you want and where you're gonna live too. Like that's what I keep thinking. Where am I gonna live next? I want to be close to my family. I love my family. Like I've done enough of this away thing, but what is close to my family? Oregon is close to my family. Idaho is close to my family. It's not 20 minutes away, and that would be super awesome, but it's better than Illinois. So, okay, anyways, back to wherever I was. Um, yeah, COVID, great. Living with the rents, easy peasy. And then going to Macomb, you go in with a cohort. Okay, the cohort was great. Um, but I kind of gravitated to one human being, and this one human being was the most incredible human being. Um, and Miss Kiana, so freaking great. And so we hit it off. So I had my one friend in Macomb. Great. We did everything together. We also were in the exact same course, like the exact same. The only thing different about our lives was she went to the chamber for work and I went to the city. And then sometimes we would drive home together. So we lived the exact same lives. It was super great, but we also got along very, very, very well. So totally amazing in that. And okay, I should add all these things. I feel like I have like one bestie usually, and like Matthew's obviously all time high, 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 high. But I've kind of had like a one bestie, and then I keep collecting them in different areas, these besties, which is nice. I had one bestie that moved from Nebraska to Seattle. That was good for a time. But then I gained in Seattle, I gained Cat. That was huge win. Huge win. Like a female lead role. I need my female lead roles, I've noticed. So I've got a Cat. I got a Katarine. I've got a Dallas. Fuck yeah, Dallas. And then I got a Kiana. I just keep collecting my top bitches and I love it. These women are all just like power and they're all in different areas, which is great. I can just like pop around and see my friends. It is nice to have friends. I will say my family is also in different locations, but it would be more of an Iowa vacation and a Portland vacation, not so much as a cool like Philly and DC area and like South. So I love it. I love doing this. So anyways, okay. So we get Macomb, we get Kiana, we collect a Kiana, and then we go to Effingham. And I honestly, I've been friends with more women here than men. I feel like I don't meet a lot of men my age that I've generally like been friends with. And I've kind of gotten to an age too that I don't really hang out with people. Like I'll go out for a drink, but I don't have like a couch homie. You know what I'm saying? I kind of do now actually. I do have I've been couched twice at a friend's house. That feels good as an adult female to be just hanging out, watching TV with a homie. That's lit. But it's a different types of friendships, you know? It's you're growing and experiencing and doing your own thing. And so all these friendships are kind of interwoven to this instead of like hanging out all the time. I feel like every friend group I've had, we've hung out like a lot, a lot, a lot. And I fucking love that. But now it's a time of a lot of spread outness. Everyone is having their lives. I'm in a small town, but I am a single female in a small town full of moms with children. You know what I'm saying? So it's a different type of friendship and maneuvering what we hang out and do. Yeah, it's just different. I like it though. So Yeah. 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 It's just been interesting. And now I've been here for 2 years and I'm like, hmm. What do I do next? Where do I go? Because I really like coffee, but I really like my boss and my job. Like it's really awesome. And I've never experienced things like I have now in the role I've been placed in and doing all sorts of things and just absorbing information, but also performing and feeling like I'm getting shit done. So it's like, ooh, I like that. But how sustainable is that? I feel like I'm just go, go, go. But right now I'm in the holiday season. I say this now, and then in 2 weeks I'll be like, wow, like I don't have much to do. Like it's just slowed down. It's the ebbs and flows of the restaurant and hospitality business, you know? So yeah. Anyway, it's got my mind moving on like a new location, but I'm loving the small town vibe. I do not like the non-visibility. Like the landscape is shit. The landscape is ass. I will say I do love riding the Amtrak up to Chicago and it's just flat and you get the grain silos and the corn, but only when it's nice in the harvest season. Not harvest season, but like, when corn is growing, when things are green, it's beautiful. Then the rest of the year it's cut short and it's brown and it's nothing and it's just flat. Yeah, you see some deer, but like the sunsets are spectacular and the stars and the moon are amazing. But where are my mountains? Where are my lakes and my hikes and all that? So, anyways, where to next? Small town, big town, medium size. And what would I do? Like, do I want to stay in coffee? I do really like coffee. How I would love to work with like women farmers and just go abroad again. But at the same time, I don't because everyone's getting married. I don't want to I have like kind of that FOMO. I want to have money as well. It would be nice to have some money, to have a career that pays for all these crazy travel things. I don't know, you guys. Can I just be paid to be me? Is that possible? Can I just monetize maybe a podcast, an international podcast? Where in the world is Brittany Centerman? Blazy B goes rogue. It'd be so great to do that and be funded to be me and everyone experience life through me. I guess that's what an influencer does, but that grosses me out. I feel like I have to really promote myself. that's that's just a lot. Um yeah. But disaster relief also kind of jumps out to me. I like helping people. I like talking to people. I like connecting with different cultures and just learning community and culture through travel and through coffee. I mean, the dream. I gotta do this, guys, and I'm putting this out there. Nobody's stealing the idea. I gotta do that Netflix series about coffee. I really do. Traveling to different countries, talking to different farmers, watching the way and like filming how they make their coffee. How, like, is it a spiritual thing? Is this like a community thing? Are you just using it for caffeine? Like, most countries don't do to go cups. Like, this is a thing. You sit down for a coffee, you enjoy this. It is meant to be shared with another human. Like, do you do espresso? Do you do just there? One fucking ingredient and it just pops off into so many different things. And it's baffling. And I would love to just dive into that. I should just go back for a degree in coffee. Or you could be self taught and walk around the world and start talking to people. Oh, who's holding me back? Me. Me. I'm the problem. It's me. Yeah. I just gotta like jump. but I'm putting my feelers out. I do love storytelling. But that's the whole thing about getting out there. You go and then you storytell. You share experiences with others. And now it's nice that you don't have to read these things. You can just hear from other people. But what's the angle? Where am I a travel person? Am I just a coffee? How do I do this? You guys, can you give me some suggestions on what's left? What's next? What's next for Brittany Cinnamon? Hit me with your suggestions because I'm down to start another friendship group, another place, and build a community there. I just like the connecting aspect and the popcorn around. I want to experience so many things in life. And yeah, I'm young but I could die tomorrow. Who knows? So let's go. Let's go. But like where? That's the question. Where to next? Hit me with what you think. Oof, man. Yeah. Who knows? Let me know. Ciao, ciao.